If you're looking to build applications using large language model, it's highly likely that you have stumbled upon LangChain. LangChain is emerging and evolving as the de facto standard for building apps using large language models. In this video, I'll talk about the ecosystem and also introduce you to a very new capability which they have introduced within their ecosystem called LangGraph. We'll go through, the video will be in two parts. First, we'll take a quick sneak peek into what are the existing capabilities and how LangGraph is going to help you in the second part of the video. Let's dive in. So quick check, what they offer is you can build, observe, and deploy. So LangChain, while at core is a building framework, they have added Langsmith and Langserv for observability and deployment, which is very, very visible in this kind of a life cycle where they want to develop, collaborate, test, deploy, and monitor applications using large language models. Here's the architecture that they usually share, and this probably will be updated. So up top, as you see within the observability pillar, which kind of gives you all the capabilities of debugging, playground evaluation, annotation, and monitoring, is Langsmith. Then there's Langserv, which enables you to deploy LangChain chains as REST APIs. It's available in Python. You have templates, which are like reference applications. And then you have the whole umbrella where at the bottom sits the LangChain core, which is the expression language, the callbacks, the parallelization, the working with the LLM code stuff, etc., etc. Then there's a community-driven effort, which is called LangChain Community, which is the model I/O retrieval agent tooling. And then LangChain itself at its core, which is the up top library, has chains, agents, and retrieval strategies. Interestingly, agents is what we are going to focus on today. Let's keep further going further in. So if you see in their ecosystem, in their documentation, Langsmith is designed to trace and evaluate your large language model applications, and it kind of help you, go from prototype to production. And the first line itself is really a great definition. So if you have built an app and you want to understand how's the callback looking and stuff like that, you can really go to Langsmith and understand all of that. We'll probably take a small sneak peek into Langsmith very shortly. Langserv is a very straight deployment toolkit which can help developers deploy LangChain chains, runnables, etc. as a REST API. It's kind of very neatly integrated in the Fast API ecosystem, so you would find yourself at home. Now, what I really wanted to talk about is this today is LangGraph. Now, LangGraph, it's a completely new library, but what they have done is they have interestingly thought of agents and imagined multiple agents working together and thought of that as a graph. So this is not really a DAG framework, which is directed acyclic graph, but they are kind of introducing a graph expression kind of a syntax for working with agents. So let's say you want to build a chatbot, right? A simple RAG chatbot, which goes into a knowledge base, which actually first is just let's say in the beginning is just answering queries on top of its own knowledge base. Then it's trying to get into a second state where it's using some sort of an internet search. Then you are adding additional context in some form of RAG and retrievals. So all of these can be thought as a multi-agent coordination, and that's what LangGraph is really designed to. The documentation is amazing. I'm gonna walk through a very simple example what's happening here in the code, and this code is very, very straightforward running. There's no challenges here. You can just copy paste and give it a go. Just as thought before I start, this example is implemented using LangChain Anthropic. You can happily implement it using OpenAI if you have OpenAI APIs, but Anthropic APIs are also good. I think if I saw it somewhere that they were using Haiku model for the implementation. So part one is just building a basic chatbot, and what they've just done is define certain graph state, messages, etc. And it's pretty much this kind of a code, which is just a small snippet which defines the state. Yeah, here's the model which is defining the model, and then you have a chat bot. So the chatbot is just start, chatbot, and end. And when you ask a question, right, what LangGraph is all about, it will probably answer a question based on its knowledge base. And while this is good, you will not be able, it will not be able to answer question which is outside of its training data. So what can be done is you can add a web search tool to expand the bot's knowledge. And then what has been done here is added a toolkit, which is kind of defining that we'll be able to do searches. And then the agent or the search can leverage the power of the tool. So all of these are, if there are agents, think of search as a tool within the agent belt of capabilities. And they would have probably, they're using Tavily search results, which is another provider. And somewhere they would have used yeah, okay, this is the tool itself, the Tavily itself, the tool. All right. And then finally, what would happen is if you run the code, there would be some sort of a branching, and it's kind of making an internet search, going to URLs like blog.langgraph, etc., etc., and it's able to answer it. You can further keep on extending this conversation by adding more, thoughts like how can I make it aware about the previous question that was asked, right? So you can add memory into the chatbot and whatnot. So that's a little bit about LangGraph, and it's if you are really interested in building multi-agents workflows where you want to answer common questions by searching the web, maintain some sort of a conversational state across the different calls, because when you are into a multi-agent scenario, gaining an understanding of what these agent states are doing kind of gets tricky. You can also do a lot of routing for review, like a human in the loop conversation, and finally control the state, add memory, all of those, etc. Just probably towards the closure of this video, what I want to do is just show you how the Langsmith part of this looks. So this is Langsmith, and I'll just go back, and this is what's happening. So LangGraph is an execution. It's asking what's a name. It doesn't know anything. Chat. Then there's a chatbot, and inside chatbot, the instance there's an Anthropic information. You can take a look at all the metadata information associated with it. You can understand the model parameters. You can understand the runtime details. All of the CPU memory information is available here. You can get run ID. You can run traces, etc., etc. These hidden runs are probably just conversational, some internal states which Langsmith can show, like the start and the end of the chatbot. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you've liked this video, give a thumbs up. If you want to see more content, more deeper conversations into how can we build these apps, that's coming in the future. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. Until next video, bye bye.